I'd like to talk today about why you cannot control the breath. And that's reflected in the practice of meditation, qigong, tai chi, martial arts, contemplative practices, dance, and other things. You see, because the moment you try to control your breath, something changes, and it's subtle, but if you pay attention, you can feel it immediately. You begin to breathe more deliberately, slower, deeper, more controlled. And at first, it seems correct. But underneath that control, something else appears. A slight tension, a sense of effort, a quiet monitoring. The breath becomes something you're doing, and that shift matters because the breath was already happening long before you paid attention to it, and it continues while you're not thinking about it. When you're asleep and when you're not trying to get it right, it has its own rhythms and its own intelligence. So the question is not how should I breathe, but what happens when I interfere? Most approaches to practice begin with control. Slow the breath, deepen the breath, expand the chest, or press out the abdomen, or focus on the nose. Shape the breath. And all these can have effects. But they also introduce something else, management. You see, the moment control enters, the system organizes around that control. The mind becomes involved. Attention narrows, effort increases, even if slightly. And where there's effort, there is disturbance. So even if the breath looks calm on the surface, internally there can be strain, and this is why control has limits. But it cannot restore its natural coordination with the rest of the system because true regulation is not imposed, it emerges. So instead of asking how to control the breath, try something simpler. Watch the breath, not as a technique, but as an observation. Let the breath move as it is already moving. Do not adjust it. Do not guide it. Do not try to improve it. Just notice it. Abide in awareness. Awareness of what the breath is doing naturally. I get it. At first, this may feel unfamiliar because there's nothing to do. There's nothing to correct. There's no target. There's no goal. But if you remain with it, something begins to shift. The sense of doing softens. The breath begins to move more freely. The body relaxes, and not because you made it relax, but because you stopped interfering. And the breath settles. The mind begins to settle as well. Not through force, but because it is no longer engaged in managing the process. This is where a different kind of awareness appears. It's not effortful, it's not controlled, it's continuous. You begin to notice a natural rhythm of the breath, the way it rises, the way it falls, the pause between the rise and fall. And over time, the breath becomes quieter, more subtle, something even barely noticeable. And this is not something you achieve. And from there, another shift is possible. You begin to see that breath is not something you own. It is something that is happening. And the breath is happening on its own. What else is? The heart beats. The body adjusts. Thoughts rise and pass. All without your direct control. This does not remove your ability to act, but it changes your relationship to action. You begin to move with the system rather than trying to manage it. And this is where breath becomes important, not as something to control, but as something to reveal. It shows you very directly the difference between interference and allowing, effort and organization, control and regulation. So next time you sit for meditation or stand in qigong practice, or move through your tai chi, or practice a martial art form, let the breath move. Watch it as it is. Notice what changes, not because you made it happen, because you stopped interfering.